Hey bro, got the documents. Ready to get the car out and let's go see the Countryman. Before the video starts, I want to give a big shout out to our sponsors, Expel Malaysia. Now, many may know them for some of the best paint protection films out in the market, but they also produce excellent window tints. It not only has superior heat rejection, but it has amazing clarity. I've used both Prime XR Plus and Prime XP, and I have never been more satisfied. Do check out the website for more information on the products and network of distributors throughout Malaysia. With that, please enjoy the rest of the video. Hey guys, so here we are. This is my new car, the Mini Countryman JCW. Now, some of you thought that it was the April Fool's joke that I'm going to sell my M2 competition for this car. But look, it's here. Yes, this is going to be my new daily, well, me and my girlfriend's daily. But the look really grew on me. So today, in this video, will be a little vlog. I'll be taking my car to what I normally do after I collect my car. I'm going to go into servicing, talk about what I want to service, especially on recon cars, my tires, and then future plans for the Mini Cooper JCW, right? Sorry, Mini Countryman JCW, gotta get used to that word. Okay, so I'm here at Utama Motors. I got the cars from them, and really good job. I mean, the service is good, super transparent, super fast. If you're looking to get yourself a recon car, you can check out here. My friend Lucas is gonna give you a good deal, right? So with that, I'm gonna hop in the car and go to Prestige for my first stop, right? See you guys. Hey guys, so we're here in Prestige Car Care, and this is where I take care of most of my cars, my Spider, my previous M2 competition, and some of my friends' cars, even my parents' cars, sometimes I send it over here. The reason I like this place is because like Mr. Lim, the manager, takes care of me really well, service is really fast, and they give great advice around your cars, right? So they are specialized actually in premium cars, so brands like BMW, Mini, you know, Mercedes, Porsche, Bentley, they just know where to source parts, and they're more familiar with dealing with the issues. After getting my car, the first thing I like to do is make sure I get it serviced. Okay? Now this is especially important if you're watching this video, if you're having a recon car, right? Now recon car is a used car, but it's imported from overseas. So we just don't quite know what's going on in the car, and typically this car will be around 2 years to 3 years old range, okay? So what I like to do when it's especially around 3 years old range, regardless of the mileage, I like to do some things, right? So let's go a little bit closer, and then let's talk about some of the things that I usually get done with my recon car service, right? So the first thing that I like to change on a recon car are actually the spark plugs and the coils. Now, my opinion around this, like some people say it can last longer, you can use it until it's burnt out and stuff like that. But I just don't like to have that sort of feeling that that thing might fail during a journey. So for example, I was driving my M2 competition and I was going up Genting Highlands, and you know, M2s are being rev hard, right? These cars, they do a lot of revolutions because they put your foot down. So technically, even the mileage are a bit lower, you do get more wear on the coils, right? And it's not really expensive, but it's something just worth changing just to make sure your car is in good condition, right? So as you can see right now, the staff from Prestige is actually working on changing the coil plugs and also the spark plugs, right? Engine oil, highly recommend to change. Utama Motors have very nicely changed the engine oil and also changed the filter for my car already, okay? I'm not sure what all they use, but typically if I have a choice, I usually use liquid moly, maybe Castrol, which is, you know, BMW uses Castrol engine oils, right? What else do we do? Gearbox oil. Okay, again, I know gearbox oil can be done much later on, you know, but if I'm getting a new car, again, you just don't know what's inside there. I'm just going to change it, right? So it's a bit of a luxury, but I've just changed the gearbox oil. But something I would like to do as well is flush the coolant fluids, okay? So get new coolant fluids, brake fluids, get the brake pads inspected. In this case, my rear brake pad is roughly around 20%, so we're going to change the rear brake pads. Super important, right? Brake pads save your life. when you need the brakes, you need the brakes, right? And the last thing, oh yeah, also axle fluids as well, okay? Now, the last thing that needs to be changed are my tires. So let's zoom in a little bit to show you what I'm talking about. Okay, so this specific Mini Cooper JCW, or sorry, Mini Countryman, I've got to get used to this, Mini Countryman JCW.
Daddy, chill.
Comes with the 18-inch rims. As you can see, it's super tight. You can see there's no more space at all, right? I think 19 would be a little nicer on its look, but I think for comfort, 18 will be just nice. If you look at these tires over here, it's Bridgestone Turanza. Now, those of you who know the Turanza range is a comfort range. Not a bad tire, but when you're running 300 horsepower, you do want to have that braking power, that stopping power, and you want that grip, okay? And it's not the most dynamic tires. Now, here's another issue. Let me show you this. Come. Now we're at the rear tires. Check this out. Premium Contact 6. Now, those of you who know your tires, Premium Contact 6 is their Continental. So you have Bridgestone up front, comfort tires, touring tires they call it, and then you got Premium Contact tires here, which is more of a sport tire. So these ones were the originals. So you can, for those of you who are more geeky, you know, the star means it's a BMW approved tire. So you have 3 tires, or minis are technically from BMW, right? So these 3 tires are from the original car, and that one got changed halfway. I'm not sure who changed it, whether it's the used car dealer or maybe it's the guy from UK. But I don't think it's very advisable to have 3 different kind of tires and then 1 different tires, you know. It's not really nice. Instead of leaving it like this, I'm going to change all 4 of this to my favorite brand, right? So my car is back from all its service, okay? All those things I mentioned, all done. So I talked a little bit earlier about tires, right? My favorite tires, of course, are Michelin. So this one I'm having a Pilot Sport 5, all right? I've been always wanting to try this tire. I've been a big fan of PS4, PS4S. I just never really had a car that can fit the 5. So we have it now on my Countryman. And what I like about the Pilot Sport range, since the 4 onwards, is that the wet grip is fantastic. And let's face it, in Malaysia, everywhere we go, there's always going to be rain most of the time. We live in tropical weather, okay? So that's what I like about PS4. The other thing I like about the Pilot Sport range is that the wear from the beginning to the end has the tires feel consistent. Some tires, they start to change its grip characteristic, its noise and stuff after 10,000, 15,000 kilometers. But in my experience with Pilot Sport, it just really stays consistent. So for me, the PS5, I know they have more aggressive tires because they say it's softer and blah, 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 but it's just has everything that I really need. It's kind of an all-rounder, plus it's really good in wet, which is when you need the grip the most, right? So PS5 tires. Okay, since we're outside here and the car is ready, let's do a little walk around. I never really got a close look on the Mini Cooper JCW. Sorry, Mini Countryman JCW. I gotta keep correcting myself. Okay. By the way, I'm not an expert in reviewing this car, so I'm gonna just see what I can get, right? This caught my eye first. This little, it's not a real vent, it's just a little look. And then you have the JCW logo on this. You have likely your lights, right? There you go, on the side over here. And it has the all 4, right? And you definitely want to have all 4 because this car has 306 horsepower. So, I mean, it's quite okay for a daily, right? You know?
Sensational.
No, but I just like to have all-wheel drive, especially with a car with a higher power. Makes the car feel less lethargic, you know. Because if you have all the power in the front wheel, you're dragging the rear wheel, especially pulling off the line. Having all-wheel drive just helps the car feel less lethargic, right? So what I like about the Mini Cooper.
Another one.
Sorry, Mini Countryman, okay, is this black plastic wheel guard or wheel arc. You know, this makes the car feel a little bit more sporty, more rugged in that sense, all right? And the more I look at the Mini Cooper,
another one.
Sorry, Mini Countryman again, I kind of like it. So, honest confession, when I first saw the first generation Countryman, I thought it was just like a Mini Cooper on steroids. It's just really big. It didn't really have its design language. the second generation, first I was like, what's the point of getting a Mini when it's this size? But what I really like about the Countryman is it just has its own design language. And yes, I think it deserves the word Mini because compared to other smaller SUVs or crossovers, it does look a little bit smaller, right? And of course, the other thing that is actually very, very surprising for me is actually the rear space. Let me show you. Something about the Mini Countryman, well, not really Mini anymore over here, is that the rear space is actually pretty damn big. So, because it's kind of tall, you have a lot of headspace, so you have that illusion of space or that feeling of, you know, spaciousness inside the car. So it feels way bigger than it suggests from the outside. So it's good for the passenger. And look, this is my driving position. Look, I have so much space over here, right? And but the only downside is that you don't get the support all the way to the end, which is not so bad anyways. But one thing I like is the way they design the seats. You actually can't adjust the angle of the seat, but it's actually pretty, you know, kind of slanted backwards. Okay, so let's talk about the front bit. Now there is three. I would categorize as three versions of the JCW, right? So you have the when they first launched this body, right? They have the 240-ish horsepower JCW, and the interior is actually pretty cool. I like it, right? Because they have this round cluster, right? And it's analog, right? Then they came with the JCW facelift 2019, this one, right? Onwards, there's the facelift with the 300 horsepower, right? So for, you know, you need a little bit of power to do your daily runs, right? So yeah, 300 horsepower in this car over here. So for me, this is the best to have, right? Because shortly after that, I think 2022, please correct me if I'm wrong, they started bringing in the ones with the digital cluster. That's when you start having that. And it just drives me nuts. The digital cluster, I don't think it's a good look on the Mini, right? The Mini Classic always had, you know, the tachometer and all of that in clusters, right? And it just doesn't work for me. So this is the right one to have, okay? So I specifically wanted this year because I wanted this, okay? And the best part about the way the digital cluster works, I believe it's the only one in the world, only Mini does this. When you move your steering up, down, or, you know, adjusting your height of your steering rack, your cluster actually moves with you, all right? So in that way, you always have full visibility of your speed, your speedometer, and your rev counter and stuff. It's always moving with that, right? So that's what I like about it. Infotainment system, I'm pretty impressed with this iDrive. It integrates really well with wireless CarPlay. The motions are super fast. It's probably smoother than my M2 competition's Apple CarPlay. So I really like this one over here. And you know, some people can say it's a little tacky, and I can sort of say why. The interior is bursting with a lot of, you know, colors and knobs, right? So for me personally, I always give Mini a little exception. I normally like it a bit more quiet, but I think Minis are meant to be exciting, right? If you pick up a Mini and it's boring inside here, then there's something wrong with that, right? So I like that they have all these little, you know, levers, like the start button that's pulsing in red. You know, you got these little things here for all your lights. So it makes you feel like a pilot, right? So a little bit like a toy. But imagine this in a Lexus or in a BMW or an Audi. You wouldn't accept that, right? And I love that Mini plays around with that. They play with the fun character of the car, you know, and all of that. So for me, it's a big plus. It's something, it's like the car is bursting with character. And that's why I opted away from the Golf R, although it's probably better to drive. I just want something cute and fun, right? So let's get out and give a little conclusion what I think about this car and how much I paid for it. Okay? I always wanted to do this in the Countryman, so I'm gonna do it right now. It's my car. All right. What I like about this is that it's not too high. I'm just sort of like sitting down on the right height. I can chat with my friends and stuff like that, right? So some people might be thinking this is not the most car enthusiast car to buy, and I sort of agree with you. But the Mini Countryman doesn't have a lot of things that they don't do well. I mean, first of all, you've got a B48 engine that produces 300 horsepower, that's pretty darn cool. The 8-speed icing gearbox can be a little bit slow, but then again, you're not chasing lap times and you're not, togeing with this car all the time. But everything else about the car is pretty darn good. Brakes are good, very good actually. The steering rack, very accurate. Throttle response, good. So there isn't anything to really fault about the car. That's what I like about Mini and BMW. They always get things right. And the suspension on this one is really, really pliant. I was going through rough roads and it felt really comfortable, but it communicates quite a lot as well. But it's a little bit spongy, but it's acceptable for a Mini SAB SUV, right? You want to call it. But overall, it's bursting with character. I love the seats. They got Alcantara everywhere. It just feels nice and sporty. Great back support. I'm actually surprised how good the seats are. And oh yeah, of course, the exhaust as well. Let me show you the exhaust sound. Right. Hold on a minute. I'm gonna put my microphone here so you can hear it. Okay? Pretty cool, right? Little pops and crackles as well. So Mini hasn't forgot how to make this car fun. All right. So that's it. That's all I can say about the Mini Cooper Countryman.
Another one.
Mini Countryman JCW. That's all I can say about the car. I'll explore the car a little bit more as I drive it. And tomorrow I'm going to take this up to Genting Highlands to see how this car take the toge routes. All right? Because why not? Okay, with that, thanks for watching, guys. I'll keep you updated on this car and all my other projects. If you want to find out more about my journey of owning my cars and stuff like that, subscribe to my channel. And do let me know in the comments below what do you think about the Mini Countryman JCW, or what would you do with 240,000 ringgit? What else would you get? Would you get this car? Or would you get something else? Right? With that, love you guys. Keep it 100% and peace out.